I just had a coaching session with a client who was upset because he felt like he didn't want to be in a relationship with someone who just wanted something from him. And he was thinking about money, nice dates, like going on a holiday, because he thought if that woman is just interested in me because I can give her something, if I can't give her that thing anymore, then she's gonna leave me, right? What if I lose my job and she's gonna leave me because she's only with me for what I can give her? So he was like, a relationship should never be transactional. I then explained to him, however, that every relationship is necessarily transactional, but that's not a bad thing at all. And actually becoming conscious of how to make it transactional in a positive way is the basis for a sustainable long-term relationship. So I used the example of my own marriage. So my husband and I are together for 8 years, and we are really happy and fulfilled, the both of us, because of course we are very complementary to each other. We fit, and also no, sorry, it's not the word. It's not complementary. It's when we are really aligned, you know. And also we of course have very good relationship skills, but also because the transactional exchange matches really, really well. So what is really important to me is that a man is providing, so that he goes out there, he wants to bring money home to the family, and I think that's important. However, another really important transaction that we give each other is emotional connection. So he really listens to me, he really understands me, and I think he feels the same. So we are really connected on that level. That means if he, for example, would have an off time, you know, he would maybe, I don't know, have a depression or something terrible would happen, and he wouldn't work for a while, I wouldn't care at all that, you know, he doesn't bring in money, because other things in our relationship are still flowing. So even if he's depressed or he goes through a hard time, but he's still communicating with me, and you know, we still have that emotional connection. And still, you know, even if he would feel so bad that for a while he would even shut down, it would all be okay with me, you know, because sort of like in general things are still flowing, and I know it's just sort of like a phase, you know, like something that I can support him with. However, let's say, and then, you know, he would get back to normal and we could have this give and take again. However, if he would go be in a crisis, he could not work anymore, he was depressed, he had maybe a midlife crisis or something, but also he doesn't communicate with me, he doesn't want any help, he's just drinking, he doesn't care about nothing, there's no exchange of energy at all anymore, he's not giving me, and this goes on for months. At that point, there is no transactional experience between us, right? And so it is very healthy for me then to say, I can't be in a relationship with you anymore because you're not giving me anything. Do you understand what I'm saying, right? So this is not a good state to be in. So if we turn it all around and we say, what do we actually want, and what is a positive, a conscious transaction? A conscious transaction means that first of all, like my husband and I can give each other things that the other person really needs, you know, so because he could be, for example, maybe someone who gives me a gift every week, but I don't even like that, so it doesn't really work out, right? But so what he gives me is financial security, emotional connection, and we laugh a lot together. Those are all things I really, really value. And I think exactly the same thing. I give him lots of empathy. I'm really there for him. We are really connected, and also we laugh a lot. He loves that about me, right? And I think he loves to get my guidance, for example, if he has some sort of like social, professional problem at work, and I can help him, you know, figure things out. So the energy is flowing. But then you can even get one stage further, and this is sort of like when relationships become just amazing, and that is when whatever you give to the other person that they value, you enjoy giving. Because then, can you imagine how positive it is? The transaction is purely positive. I love giving that thing, it makes me feel good to give. He loves to receive it, and he also gives me something that is easy for him and that he loves to give. It makes him feel good. This is the amazing, perfect transactional state to be in. So an example here would be that I love to help him figure out his work relationships or his friendships, because this is my jam, you know, it makes me feel really good, I'm good at it. Or I love to give him physical affection, hugs, it's just in my nature, it makes me feel good. I love to give him emotional connection. You see, there's so many things that I naturally love to give that he receives, and same for him, like he loves to provide for me, you know, it makes him feel so masculine and good, and it's a perfect arrangement, you know, he doesn't mind to work hard, it's something that he enjoys doing. And he also enjoys giving me emotional connection and empathy and all those things, because that just feels good to him. So that is the perfect positive transaction. And another thing is that if you meet someone that tells you that they never think about themselves, it's actually a really, really red flag, because it's in our nature, it's a good thing if you think, how can I get my needs met? Because that means that you're taking self-responsibility for yourself, and you are making sure that your cup is filled. And of course, that doesn't mean that I fill my cup in expense to other people and I'm rude and, you know, I'm using them and all that stuff. No, but I still take care of myself, because I make sure that I feel good, of course, including other people's needs. And I want to find an arrangement where we both feel good. Then we live in a really, 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 really healthy world. And it's not healthy at all to never think about yourself, only do things for other people, because you're just gonna be bleeding out. So what we wanna go to that stage where everyone takes self-responsibility, and we wanna find really good arrangements, right? We have to be creative for it, and we have to understand ourselves and the other person really well, so we can find an arrangement, a transaction that works. It's the same as in business. You want to find a transaction that works for both people, and then it's actually purely positive on both sides. And then yes, so that's how to do it. And the thing is, if that just triggers you and irks you, and you want to live in a world where everyone is selflessly giving, this very likely comes from a childhood experiences, like my client, where in your childhood you never experienced positive transaction. You felt like you had to fight for yourself, and that around you were just selfish people who didn't care about you, and that was your real experience. And I can 100% understand that what you want and deeply desire is a world where everyone is selfless. But I'm telling you, it's not realistic, because it's just not the way we are wired. But it's also not necessary, because if you're a conscious person, as I said, who is aware of their own needs and takes responsibility to fill them, but wants also everyone around them to feel good, that's realistic, and that's will be a really positive experience for you. And then you don't feel like, I never feel like my husband is a shark, and at least he tells me he also thinks that I'm not a shark, because we both are like, for me it's really important that he honestly feels good, because yeah, I want him to enjoy being with me, and that he wants to be with me for like a really long time, right? So that's a healthy and realistic state to be in, because selflessness is not realistic. And usually when someone pretends they're very selfless, they are actually a codependent people pleaser, and often they are either super unhappy, or they are sort of like secretly just pleasing other people so that they can stay safe. And it's not a good arrangement usually at all. So I hope that this video helped you with this topic, and yeah, I would love to see you soon again in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.